And now it is primed. All the pieces, as you can see here. I actually got it on another base where the airbrush system is, so I just want to give you a small example of all the amount of parts here. I got another stack of well, pretty much what you're seeing here is the combination of yellow, blue, and white, all primed, ready to be painted. The charcoal pieces are put to the side because I'm going to paint that as metallic gray. But I'm going to give you a small, I'm going to show you something, because someone asked me a question: why prime a kit, or parts for painting? Well, for starters, when you prime a part, you cover a lot of stuff here. This part here was blue, and I was sanding this down with, I sanded it out to various grits from a low grit, which is coarse, to a fine, a high grit, which is fine, and then of course it smooths it out. It still has the parts that's shown as scraped and everything else, but when you prime a kit, it hides all the pain that you see there of that's scratching it off and everything else. So this came out okay. Another thing, of course, it also, and I better show this to you as well, it also shows some things that you can't see on the naked eye. Like, for example, this part here. This should have been smoothed out. So I'm going to sand it down again here, and then I'll give it a small blast of primer just to cover it up. Now, priming, you got to be very careful because you can make mistakes. Like over here, I made these bubble things here. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to sand them down here and here so it looks okay. Here are the yellow parts for the shield claw. It came out pretty good. I didn't have any clippers to actually support or hold it, so I had to use a toothpick and a little putty, those adhesive putties that you get from 3M. They're very great to hold these parts, and it's great, you can throw them away. Here's a yellow part here of the trim of the shoulder, which I only concentrated on this part. This part here is not necessary. I don't really care about it. I just needed to concentrate on the areas which will be shown and which will be painted metallic chrome, followed by the yellow color that I showed you guys before. Let me just show you guys one last part, if I could find it. Where is it? I think this is it. Here's the body, of course. I had to do a lot of sanding here because there was a plastic part here that was protruding out, and I was cleaning it up, and it came out pretty good. And also down here as well. This one came up a little blotchy here with the, it kind of bubbled up, or maybe it showed a little bit more primer than it is before. So when something like that happens, you want to sand it down quickly. You do not want to paint it over it because you're going to see it when you paint it. So with that being said, let's now move on to painting these parts. First up, metallic gray. Now we're going to begin with the first color, which is of course metallic gray. I've already mixed it, and I got it on my Grex airbrush. And before we start on the bigger pieces, I want to start on the smaller pieces. So what I did was, prior to preparing, I actually put all my parts, the smaller ones, on Tamiya tape, and I held it up, as you can see, like that, and I primed it all. So these are my grays up to here. There's my white. There's the yellows here. Down here is the blue and the red. Very, very limited in colors, but we're going to work with the grays, so that's the first thing I want to try. Get this guy started, and let's see what kind of results we got. Sorry if you guys can't see it from that angle. Hold on a second. So here's what you got. I'll let this dry out and then I'll come back to it later on. Alright, let's begin with the smaller parts. Here are the two little thumbs. I put them on the adhesive putty. Got a little ink on it. The neck. I'm kind of digging this metallic gray. It's a little different shade than what I remembered on the Gunmetal. If you guys get your hands on that type of color, I would probably recommend you try it. Let's try something a little bigger. Let's try the leg. Oh, all right. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the leg. Came out pretty nice. Alright, let's try this waist unit. See how the body comes out. Now these parts I'm only going to spray on this side. No reason for me to spray it on this side since it's going to be inside the white plastic for the armored skirt. So I'm only going to be painting this side. And I always paint along the edges. So you got that like that, but then you leave that alone. Here's another one that's just a trim around the side of the skirt. Now I'll just paint the back side. You see? Here's the arm, already pre-built. Another side-by-side comparison.